What's happened is this competition between conservative and more conservative. And what you're seeing is a coalescence of power around the more conservative, more hardline members of the Iranian establishment, including the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. And, of course, this at a time when the world is looking at Iran's nuclear program and when the crisis level is very high.
Christian, ahead of his meeting Monday with Obama, the Israeli Prime Minister said, and I quote, "This, the Iranian nuclear program, is a grave threat to peace and security in the world. And I think it's important that the international community not allow this threat," by which he means the perceived threat of a nuclear bomb, "to materialise." Now, we know that Washington is alarmed by reports that Israel might take unilateral military action as early as April. In this high-stakes game of poker, is it yet clear who might show their hand with military action first?
This is the most important weekend for the president coming up in a long, long time. He will be meeting with the president of Israel and on Monday with the prime minister of Israel in this atmosphere of war drums that are beating. The White House, the entire U.S. establishment in terms of the military and the White House and other areas of the administration will be trying to convince the Israeli prime minister that now is not the time to take any unilateral action against Iran. The president will try to convince Benjamin Netanyahu that he is serious when he says he will not permit or allow a nuclear-armed Iran, but the United States will say that they have not detected Iran moving towards building a nuclear weapon, and the president will say that, trust us, allow our sanctions, the heavy diplomacy that we've been imposing on Iran that's hurting Iran, allow us to let that work, and we will have your back. The president gave a very strategic interview to Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic to send this message loud and clear. So the U.S. are trying to put the brakes on. As for Israel, they obviously have different red lines, and it's not entirely clear at all whether they would believe President Obama or whether they would think that they had an ironclad enough agreement from President Obama.
Christian, how would you characterize the relationship today, March 2012, between Israel and the US?
Well, look, it obviously has been frosty. It's been talked about a lot during the presidency of Barack Obama. However, on this very issue, obviously the United States is committed to the security of Israel, as we've seen over many, many years. They do have a difference in terms of their red lines on the issue of Iran's nuclear program and Iran's intentions. And so this is where the difficulty is. You know that inside Israel, there are also many, many areas, the Mossad, the military, many politicians, including the Israeli people, who are not gung-ho about a military strike on Iran, and most certainly not about a unilateral Israeli military strike on Iran without any U.S. help. And so this is the sort of atmosphere in which these talks are taking place right now, with the White House trying to convince Israel that now is not the time for military action.